Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see the transfer function for two-port network. So the question that we are given says we are to determine the voltage transfer function and driving point impedance of the network shown at this port. So you have to take note that the first thing that we are going to do is we have to convert to the network in S domain and write the KVL equation. So I have to say, let me draw the circuit again and I'll convert everything. And this is what we have L here, and this L will now convert. We are going to convert the network in S domain, so this will now become SL, and therefore this will stay as R, and this will now change to this C will now change to 1 over SC. So we have V2 here and we have V1. So I'm going to write the KVL equation. Let's say current, it is going like this. Let's say I have a current. Let's say I have I1 here. But the next thing that I'm going to do, I have current here. So I'm going to say this current I multiplied by this SL. Using what? Using the KVL. So I will now say the SL, the SLI of what? I of S plus what? Plus this R, and also plus this 1 over SC. So I will now say open bracket R plus 1 over S what? SC, and also multiply by the same current, which is I1 what? S minus what? Minus this voltage. So I will say the voltage, which is what? V1 of what? V1 of S, which is equals to 0. And also I can say, let me say O, I can use just V1 of what? Of S. It is also equals to just SL plus R, and also plus 1 over SC, close the bracket, which is what? I1 S. So let me call this as what? As first equation. And you have to take note that V2, the V2S, because this is B1, V2S, which is this B2, it is the same thing as what? As the same thing as this. So I will now say V2 is R plus 1 over SC multiplied by I1 of S. So let me call this as what? As my second equation. Hence the voltage transfer function ratio, which is G21 of S, G21 of S, is given by what? Is given by V2 by B1. But don't forget we have what? We have S. What I mean by S, in the numerator we have S, also in the denominator we have what? We have S. So the next thing that we are going to do, we are just going to use this relation, the voltage transfer function, because we are asked to find the voltage transfer function. So this is a voltage transfer function, which is G21S, is the same thing as V2 divided by V1. So you have to take note of that. So I have to delete this. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I just have to say the G21, this is the same thing as V2. This is the value of V2. So I have to say R. V2, which is what? Which is R plus what? Plus 1 over SC divided by V1. This is V1. So B1, it is now the sum of what? Of R and SL plus 1 over SC. So the next thing that you are going to do is that don't forget this relation that I say it is equals to 0. Keep in mind, write it down. Also keep in mind, write it down, this equation that I set it as equation 1, and also this, because I'm going to delete it. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I have to say, to simplify this is the same thing as what? This is the same thing as saying R. By finding the LCM at the end, you will left with RCS plus what? Plus 1, and also divided by what? But I have to show it for you. R plus 1 over SC. What will be the LCM, which is this, divided by 1? So I'll have what? I'll have SCR and also plus 1, as you can see. And also I have to say this R from this. My LCM is SC. Yes, my LCM is SC. So this is S over 1 over 1. So I'm just going to multiply. I'll have RCS plus what? I'll just add this, multiply by this. I'll have I'll have CLS squared, and therefore plus what? Plus 1. CLS squared plus what? Plus 1. So the next thing that I'm going to do, if I say this divided by what? By this, at the end this will go with this. I will left with only this and this numerator and this numerator. I hope you get it. So I have to say this is SCRC is the same thing as saying RCS plus what? Plus 1 divided by this. So this is the same thing as saying RCS plus, the S is in square, so I would just say LCS square plus 1. So I'll now say divided by what? Divided by LCS squared and also plus RCS plus 1. So I have to delete this. So the G21 of S, it is the same thing as RCS plus 1 divided by LCS squared plus RCS plus 1. So this is what? This is the final solution to the voltage transfer function. So now we are going to find the driving point impedance. So this driving point impedance, it is the same thing as what? The Z11 is the same thing as what? As the driving point impedance. And the driving point impedance Z11 will be what? Will be there is equation that I laid, which is equation 1. So it is the same thing as R plus what? Plus SL plus 1 over S of C. So if you make this LCM, this SC to be your LCM, this is divided by 1 divided by 1. So you will just multiply this SC by this R. So therefore I will get I will get RCS plus, also if I multiply this by this, I will get LCS squared plus 1. So what will be the final solution to it? To this driving point impedance. So this driving point impedance will now be, I will now say the driving point impedance, it is the same thing as, I have to start with the one that contains square. I will say LC squared plus what? Plus RCS, and I will say plus 1 divided by SC. So this is the end of this question, and this is all I have for you for this example for the two